Here we go. So in December, I'm going to give you, sometimes I'm coming on as the schedule states, but I might be abbreviated because people are busy in December and they're like, I'm just thrilled to death that you came on. So, and I know some of you will swish out of class because you got this to go to and that meeting and this and this and this. So here's what you need to do if you get up and your back is just a little tight and you're like, oh man, what did I do? What did I do? Here's what you do. Okay. So again, Wednesday, in keeping with being barefooted, I am barefooted, and I'm going to keep encouraging you to do barefoot work. I'm trying to turn up. There we go. Okay. Okay. So always have my pad, especially whenever that you're going to do barefoot work. I think I'm cutting off my head here. There. Is that better? Yeah, I have a little catch somehow in my little thing that my IT person got me. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Okay. Surprise, surprise. Okay. First thing to do is when you get up and your back is a little tight, the last thing you're going to do is get in the floor. I know that, and you know that. So here's what you do. You put your hands on a wall. See, it's really easy to find a wall or a door to put your little hands on. You do that, and you just kind of roll your hips forward. But you see, as I'm rolling my hips forward, what am I doing with my knees? I'm softening my knees. Yes. Now you're going to feel a little stretch because you're doing a gentle hyperextension. So when I'm doing the hyperextension, so I'm doing this as if you got up and you were just a little stiff this morning. And put your hands on a wall, on a table, on a bedpost. You get the idea. Rotate your hips forward as you drop your shoulders. And as you keep your knees soft. And see, here's the thing. I'm barefooted. So I'm very aware of the pressure points as I shift forward. I see you coming on, Chrissy, and some of you other ones. We've got a pretty good class this morning. Here we go. See this? So I'm doing this as if I woke up, which I did, with a little bit of a stiff back. It might have been those three 20-pound big old pumpkins that I went and dumped in the field. It might have been that. Who knows? See what I'm doing? I'm on a door. I'm on a wall. I'm on a counter. I'm on a bed. See how I'm rotating in? Okay, I only did that 3 times. So I'm trying to get you out of a stiff back situation. I'm setting up a hypothetical, even though for me, I was a little stiff. So you know what I did? I did exactly what I'm showing you right here. And I felt tons better. If you are at a door or you have a bed post, that's a good one. You're going to grab it, or you're going to turn and you're going to grab your door. And you're not going to do this hard. You're just going to push back and see, you don't see my feet, but I'm digging my heels in and I'm bringing my toes up. I'm keeping my chin tucked, and only now am I letting my shoulders go way up toward my ears. Okay? Take a big deep breath through your nose, and then come back in with your knees bent, and then you come right up here, and you're still on the wall, or you're holding onto the door, and you're going to bring your shoulders to your ears now, and you're going to round your upper back. Then you're going to put your shoulders down, soften up your knees. Then you pull your elbow back, okay? Keep your palm down. Keep your palm down. See how I'm rotating? See how I'm opening this? This is for Kay. Yes, many of you, but Kay has asked specifically for me to do these types of moves. Okay, come back so you can think her. Okay, see, I'm still in a wide stance. I'm still at a wall, or I'm holding onto a door or a counter or a bedpost or whatever. Put your hand on the wall. Put your hand on the counter. Soften up your knees, drop your shoulders. Palm is down. Palm is down. And I'm just really trying to open my shoulders. Then I'm going to come right back. I'm going to grab that door. I'm going to grab that, a chair, a bed post. This is a post on my desk right here. I don't know if you see that. And then I'm going to let my shoulders again come to my ears. I'm digging my heels in. Take a big deep breath. Then push back and then come up. And then hypothetically, because I don't have a wall here, you're going to let your hands go up the wall or up the door, all the way up, and you're going to push your hips forward, and then you're going to rotate them back. And you're pushing against the wall. Okay, now I'm having an imaginary wall here, or a door, okay, because that helps me keep my shoulders, my hands up as I'm rotating back and forth through my hips. See, my knees are soft, and depending on, you know, how stiff your back is, this type of recipe, I'll say that, because now I'm going back to one of the ingredients, which is turning, softening my knees, palm down, keep my chin tucked, and then I'm acting like I'm really trying to poke somebody with my elbow. See that? Then I come back to center, take big deep breaths, soften up your knees, pull that elbow back, okay? Keep the palm down. So you're doing this great chain of movements by doing this transverse move with my palm down. My feet are not moving. My knees are soft, okay? I want to keep my chin back there. I don't want to hang my chin out, okay? That'll just set up more tension through your neck, which we don't want. So I go back to that transverse. Then I go back to the very first thing I told you to do when you wake up with a stiff back. Drop your shoulders, rotate into the balls of the feet. See that? And do that little gentle hyperextension. It's not a hard hyperextension. And then you push back. And then you come back in. You go to the balls of the feet, you go to the heels. So you're getting all kinds of really good loosening up moves. Then you go back to the third component, which is opening your chest wall. Drop your shoulders, drop your chin. Palm is down. Push that elbow back. And then at the very end, you open the hand. Woo! Right here. See that? Palm is down. Feet stay still. Open back, open back, open back, open back. Big breath, big breath, big breath. Then bring those arms down. And then swing them up. And you're going to go into that Y. See, I don't do a hard lift all the way up. Go into that Y. See that? Okay. Swoop those hands down. So this is, now when you come up this time, you're going to turn. And you're going to soften up your knees. Keep your chin tucked. Both hands are doing our transverse move. Then you come to the Y. Soften your knees. Come right here. Take a big deep breath. See how I'm pulsing? See how I'm pulsing back, pulsing back, pulsing back? Then you come in to your rotationals, okay? So you could start with your rotationals. I mean, we were doing a different kind of a rotation, okay? But here's the deal. I'm barefooted, number one. Number two, I'm really keeping my shoulders down. My palms are down on this. And I'm rotating back and forth in a transverse plane of motion, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna take a big swoop now. You ready? We're gonna go up. Okay, now when I just now did that, some of you went way out of the column. You know what you did? You went like this and you leaned out. See, that is not what I want you to do if you wake up with a stiff back. So let's go to the Y again. So I'm gonna swoop this way and I'm doing a transverse move, but I'm not going out of my column. What's the column? It's created by shoulders, hips, feet, knees. See that? I can go wide or I can go narrow, but I don't want to go way out of the column when I'm doing the turn, is the point. I'm trying to get you out of the stiff back and a little hiccup with your spine. I don't want to put you in it. See? And so when you turn, especially when you elongate or raise your arms, okay, and you're going to bring that one elbow way back, then you're going to come to the center. Here's the Y. I can go palm down, palm up. When I start to move and I start to turn, again, stay in the column. So what's not in the column? Again, when I turn, if I turn like this and I go way out here, you're not in the column. Stay in the column. That gives you the best chance of getting out of a stiff back situation. Okie dokie. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use my little balance pad. So I'm going to do just a few right now. And I'm using this as a kind of a tutorial for getting out of a stiff back. So depending on your back stiffness, one of the things that you might have a hard time doing is sitting down, actually. So I'm going to come right here and then I'm going to go right back. Okay, I'm going to take one leg out just like that. I'm going to take the opposite hand up. Okay, that sets up a type of a great dynamic in your core. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm going to press into my heels a little, and I am going to release the rear end, and then I'm going to come right back down. So I'm getting these activated. The reason I do this is to activate these. Okay, then I'm going to go up, opposite hand, way back. See that? Come back in, push your butt back. You're pushing into the heels. Okay, you're right here. I didn't come up yet. I'm going to go back down because I want to get these firing. Then I open. You might not have caught that. I open at the hip. I bring the other leg up, all the way up. See that? I take this hand, the opposite, and I reach way back. You got it? Then I come back down. Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders, other leg. It's going to come up right there. Opposite hand goes way back. Okay? You can do a point flex if you want to, point flex, and then come back down. Are you ready? You're going to come like you're going to stand up. Take a big breath. When you go to stand up, put your pressure into your heels, just like if you had shoes on. I'm two inches higher because I have this pad here. Press into the heels, lift, hang out there for just a second. Take a big deep breath, go into the heels. Act like you're going to put your butt down, but then don't. Act like you're going to put your butt down and then don't. And then turn those hands to one side, then to the other side. Breath. Turn. Breath. Turn. Breath. Keep your chin tucked. Turn. Breath. See, I'm just going down, barely touching that pad with the backs of my legs, and then turning, going the other way. Take a big breath. Woo. Then I sit back down. Okay, take a big breath. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to hip hinge forward, and take one hand Okay, again, I'm doing all of these moves with the idea of getting you out of a stiff back situation. So we already went right to opening up the spine. Now I'm trying to activate your hip and your thigh muscles to help us overcome that stiff back situation. You see what I'm doing? See what I'm doing? I'm going down forward just until I'm turning, then I'm coming down until I feel that stretch. So you come back up, you're central, looking central, then you turn, you push against that leg, you're already turned, and then you gently come down through the hip hinge, and you should get a powerful stretch coming up through your groin, okay? This is your adductor muscles. And I'm on my toes, I'm lifting my heels. I can bring my heels down or up. Take a big deep breath, turn. See, I'm pushing against this leg. I've already turned, but as I hip hinge, and that's very important because as I go down, I'm coming down through the hip. I'm not rounding my back here because I'm pushing that other leg so that I get that really great groin activation, that stretch. Okay, just by doing that, you're going to feel so much relief through your hips and your back. They're very related, okay? And a lot of people think they have a stiff back when they really have stiff hips, okay? Big breath, drop your shoulders. I'm going to go into a stand-up situation right here. I'm going to hang out here for a second. I'm going to take one elbow over my shoulder, bring it back. One elbow over my shoulder, bring it back. So pushing into the heels, drop your shoulders, keep your chin tucked. Don't hang your head. Don't hang your head. Now I'm going to take the full arm and come back. Full arm, take the elbow back and then reach with the hand and then come back. Okay, pushing into the heels and I'm going to come up. Yes. I'm going to take that little pad. Okie dokie. I'm turning my chair because I'm going to put that pad right there. Okay. And I'm going to put my foot back, not on the pad. Let me scoot back this way so you can see what I'm doing. So here's my pad. It's way back there. One leg is up here. And I want my hips and or my belly button coming toward the chair. You got it? Then, see how I'm moving you back so that your heel's on the pad? Yeah, it should be a pretty wide step. See that? So in this kind of a step that I've set you up at, see how I'm lifting my heel and coming back down? I'm not going to do it a lot because I'm barefooted. I don't have a lot of support under my shoe, which is what I want. But I'm going to come up and then I'm just going to go to the heel. So I'm in a little bit of a lifted situation, but this right here is what's opened. Whoa. So press down on the chair and open that up. Now take the small of the back out, meaning don't do a big arch. See, just pull it in. Bring your shoulders up, rib cage up, drop them. Now increase the bend in the front leg. Yes, but don't arch your back anymore. We want to really get this opening right here. This is my hip replace side. Yeah, I'm not doing anything that's dangerous for that. Increase that bend. Then you go up with your heel and then you drop your heel down and you push into the pad with your heel as you're saying rib cage up and you're increasing this front knee bend. Woo! Right here, right here, right here, right here. Yes. Then you come out of that, do a little rotational with the knees, kind of like you're walking in place, but you're not really lifting your feet. You're lifting your heels. So this should be a very gentle rotational thing that you're doing with your hip, your back, your knee, and your ankle. See that? So whenever I lift the heels, and I act like I'm walking, but I'm not lifting my feet. I'm lifting my heels, okay? That sets up a great rotational movement through the ankle, all right, through the lower leg. Then I'm gonna take the other leg now and go toward the chair with it. And I'm gonna slide my other leg back. But see, the pad is right back there. And it's back there to make me go back further. Because what am I trying to do? I'm trying to open the hip, okay, of that leg that's in the back. So my knee is going toward the middle of the chair. I'm pushing down on the chair. I'm taking a big deep breath through my nose, okay? And I'm going to go into my toes, go way up, and then press down into the pad with your heel. When you do that, you're going to feel a big old stretch in that front hip. Okay, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Take a big deep breath through the nose. Increase the bend in the front leg. Keep your heel pressing on that pad in the back. Say rib cage up. Yes. And then come back and come back and come back in. Okay. So that should have opened you up here. Okay. That's number one. Number two, just bring the heel to the hip. Okay. You're already standing in this kind of a situation. Let me turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. See? So you're going to do shifting, shifting, shifting. So the shoulders are down, hands are on the chair, breathing in through the nose. Okay, I'm going to shift, soften up my knees, both of them. And I'm going to bring one leg back here, and I'm just going to bring the heel in. Okay, and you're going to bring the heel in until you feel the activation of the hamstrings. And then I'm just going to do one at a time. So you're going to shift, soften up your knees, bring that leg back, bring the heel like it's going to go to your hip. And you're going to feel the hamstrings get activation in it. Okay, you'll feel it. If you pull it in too hard, they'll scream at you because they'll cramp a little. So you don't want to push a cramp. But what you do want to do is get those hamstrings used to doing a pull into that gluteal. Okay, these are you have to be careful with these. Okay, rotate. So see, I'm just shifting back and forth. There's great value in doing this kind of a shifting. And some of you might be saying, well, how do I know? How do I know? Listen, you'll know if you're shifted correctly if you get your hand on your chair. Don't overuse it. Big breath through the nose. Keep your shoulders down. Little tiny bit of a hip hinge. Okay. You shift and just bring your foot off the ground. Okay. Just like you're gonna take a step out, but you don't. You're just going to shift, and then you take the toe off the ground. Okay, it makes you use everything in your whole musculature. You have to say rib cage up. You have to engage your core. When you shift with your shoulders down and you just get ready to release your toe, see, you're doing one-legged standing, which is going to get us into the next part of this whole class today. Okay, so drop your shoulders. It's a shift. Okay, the whole foot is on the ground. Don't lean out of your column. So we're back to the whole column thing. So let me do it straight on so you really understand what I'm talking about. I do this with people and this is what I get. We shift, everything's good. And then I say, pull your foot up. And you know what I see? I see this. And that's not what we want. Okay. We're trying to peak and work with a stiff back. That's my hypothesis this morning. And we're trying to activate core muscles and really get the benefits going of a one-legged load. So see how I shifted? My knee is soft, shoulders are down. If I need to, I'll put my hand on a chair so they don't get out of the column. And you see, you don't have to lift your foot a lot. All you have to do is get that ankle moving. See, I want to bring that toe up. So you're shifting, you bring the toe up. And if you can do it without putting your hand on your little safety net, great, but the safety net is there. Big breath through the nose, bring that toe up, right there, then come down, shift. See how I shifted, but I didn't get leaning. I didn't lean out of the column. This is my hip replace side. I tend to want to lean, and I don't want to do that. So I get myself in line, and I'm doing that very, very, very important one-legged stance move. Okay, I just bring that toe up. See that? And then I come back. Take a big deep breath, go into a split stance. It's a straight on split stance. You've got your chair here if you need it. You can be free swinging or not. Okay, you can do one hand at a time if that makes you feel more secure, safe, you know, when you're standing like this. So here's the deal. Now I'm going to use that flexibility that we just did on this chair. Okay, keep my shoulders down. I'm stepped out. Now I'm in a split leg stance. And now whenever I start to do this rotation with you, some of you, I won't say names. I can't rag on Marilyn this morning. She told me, she texted me and said she couldn't be in. But anytime I'm in a split leg stance like this, and I go to doing a scissor arms like this, I want you rotating this way. I don't want you leaning in. Okay, so I want to keep my chin tucked because again, what am I trying to help you with? I'm supposing that you got up this morning and you had a stiff back. You had a little hiccup in your back for whatever reason. So I'm right there and I'm looking back. I'm like, why would I have a stiff back this morning? And then I remembered that I removed 3 quite large pumpkins from the front of my house into the field, which I had to use a wheelbarrow, but you still have to get it in, and they were kind of mushy. So see what I mean? Yeah, you're just doing, so see what I'm hanging on to this. I'm really keeping this open. Don't change it yet. Keep your shoulders down. See how I'm not slinging? I'm lifting. See this? I'm doing a rotational and a stretch here and a stretch here because my heel is down. And I'm doing a transverse move all at once. So you got to hang out here for a bit. Okay? Just hang out here for a bit. Take a big deep breath. And I'm going to bring the back leg up and walk, walk, walk. Turn the toe out. Turn it back. Turn the toe out. And turn it back. Now you're going to put the other leg back. So you're just going to do your split stance. And a more challenging split stance would be one leg in front of the other. You don't really need to do that here because I'm trying to get you to hang into this move for a bit. All right. So I am going to go like I'm doing a wide stance. See that? And I want my shoulders and my hips forward. Okay. Then I want my heel in the back down. If I get off at all, I got my chair here. See that? So I can do this with my hand right here with no problem. And unless I pointed this out to you, what I'm going to point out right now, many of you, whether you're holding here or not, when you start doing this, you start leaning in. See, I don't want you to lean in because that loses this dynamic that I'm wanting. See how I just had my chair there and I just reached out for a second because I was kind of getting off balance. Keep your knee here soft, bent. Back here, it's straight. Your heel is down. And you are not slinging. You are moving your hands front to back. Drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders. Big breath. Drop your shoulders. Keep that heel down. Yeah, you're opening right here, right here, right here, right here. Yeah. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. So what we're doing right now is going to come into play in the next segment that I'm moving towards. Okay, keep that open. Bend and come back into neutral stance. Okay, here's my little pad. I'm going to go ahead and do a neutral stance on the pad. So I'm barefooted, yes. So I'm going to just step down and then I'm going to come back. Okay, this seems like such a simple move. Okay, but here's the thing. Many of us, when we go to step down, again, we lean in and we jerk our chin up. And then we wonder why we have backaches and neck aches, etc. So I just am trying to get you to give your body the best chance at movement and getting stronger just by moving correctly through your day. And if you have spinal stenosis, if you have arthritis, some degeneration going on in your spine, your hips, your shoulders, listen, this is a management technique, y'all. Not curing, it's a management technique. Somebody might say, well, you just have to keep doing those exercises. And I'm like, well, you just have to keep eating. I hope you're laughing. I know Kay is. Okay, listen. You got a lot of moving parts in the body. Okie dokie. And we have created atmospheres in our world, each of us, our own little worlds, where we don't have to move much in order to eat. That's a problem. You see what I'm doing right now? I'm stepping on a spongy pad. If you did get up and you have a bit of a catch in your back, everything I'm doing this morning is trying to aim at that and not push it over the edge. And a lot of times I can get somebody down into the floor and we can go through a bunch of stuff that will help really get that back lined out. However, sometimes the last thing in the world that you think you can do is get down on the floor. So I've got you set up where you are working some of your muscles, getting them firing, opening them up to help address a tight back because of whatever reason. Maybe you sat too long. Maybe you, like I did, lifted, some stuff. You could have done it right and everything. It's just, it was different moving, especially when you got things rolling around that are heavy. You see what I'm doing? I'm stepping off the front edge of this balance pad with bare feet. My shoulders are down, rib cage is up, breathing through my nose. When I go to come down, even though it's 2 inches only, I'm not over leaning forward is the point. Now I'm going to bring these hands back, drop my shoulders, bring my hands back so that I'm squeezing my shoulder blades. If I need the chair, it's right here, okay? So now I'm going to lower my center of gravity and lower those 2 inches, and I'm gonna really pull my shoulders down, and I'm gonna really bring my rib cage up. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. My knees are very, very soft, bent a little bit. Because as I step down, or if I was gonna step up, I wanna keep my center of gravity over my quads. I don't wanna lean out here and press in, put the load in my knees. I hope this is making sense for some of y'all, because you have steps that you could be utilizing to help you ambulate and to help you be much stronger, because there's little guys around the big guys in your quads and in your gluteal that have to work. Your core has to work, or you're going to be putting stress every step, and especially if you go down a stair or up a stair. And you see how I'm coming down with my heel first? Heel first. That means I've got to drop my whole body, and I do it through here. Okay, I do it through here. I drop. I don't lower my body by leaning in and rounding my back. See that? So I'm just doing a series of these. Take a big breath. Do that nose. Heel down. Whatever you do, you don't do this fast. This is not a fast type class. This is designed to help you do other things fast. But you got to get down into the cores of the musculature and into the little guide wires that help us do our day, to do our things, okay? Big deep breaths. Okay, so that was stepping down, up, constantly lowering down. I hope you were able to catch if you were starting to get into the bad habit of the minute you go down, or the minute you go up, it could be up or down, you rotate through, you get your rotation, your shifting has to happen somewhere. I'm trying to get you to happen here, not here. Okay, so I hope this is making sense. Okay, now I'm gonna knock this out. I got my chair. I did all of that first stuff to get to this part. Okay, you're just gonna stand here. I'm on the floor, I'm barefooted. So the deal is, you should be feeling pressure in all 4 corners of your feet. Not just on the outside, for sure not rolling into your instep. Should be on the front of the feet and on the heels a little bit out here. So you've got this, 4 corners, got it? Soften your knee, yes. And here's the deal. I'm gonna bring my knee up, and then I'm gonna bring my leg down. I've shifted. I'm gonna use this if I need it, and I'm gonna straighten my leg now, and I'm gonna hip hinge, knee bend, forward without caving. So I'm gonna do one of the moves that we call where the chicken is pecking down, you know, those little leaning birds that do that kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Yes, all that we did before was to get to here. And I've introduced this before, but let's just go back and do it. Now we were on this leg. Now I'm gonna shift, be in this leg. And all you do is drop your shoulders, take a big deep breath through your nose. This is extremely valuable for people who especially have knee issues, maybe a replaced knee, replaced hip, because you're able to do this. See how I bring my knee up, and then I'm gonna bring it down, and I'm gonna go back, and as I do the little chicken pecking, that little chicken that comes down and up, you've seen them before. That's what I'm trying to do. It's a one-legged stance. but don't cave in your back. Say rib cage up, drop your shoulders. Use this if you need to. This is the one where I need a little help or I over lean. See how I'm going? I'm doing this one-legged stance and I'm going into a whole leg press, a single leg. See, I'm right here. Get your stance going, take a breath. Now you come down and you straighten it and you lean in with this knee bent, this knee bent. Breath, and then you come back. And why do you want to do this kind of thing? Because a single leg stance, especially as you're doing this kind of a motion, as was pointed out by another therapist, doing this kind of a motion, very rarely do you get, if you got somebody that is standing correctly and is doing this type of a motion and they're able to take the whole body weight into as straight out of a position as you can, not turning your hips on both legs. It's very rare that you find somebody that has knee pain, hip pain, back pain, if they can do this kind of a motion. There you have it. Take a breath, drop your shoulders. See, I bring my knee up first, then I'm gonna bring it back, and as it goes back, I'm gonna say rib cage up, soften my knee, do not turn your hips, and you're gonna come as far as you can into that single leg stance. You can do it one time, then switch. You can do it 2 times, 3 times. Bent knee. Make sure your foot is all splayed out. Don't rotate your hip. And then come back. Okay, you can do it a couple of times. Then shift and go into the other one. Are you ready? So I'm going to bring my knee up first. Say rib cage up. Drop my shoulders. Big breath. Then I'm going to come down, keep this knee bent as you go back, and as you're coming down, whether your leg's coming up, you're bending forward from the hip, and then you come back into place, and you do it again. Keep your chin tucked, single leg stance, bend that knee, breath, see where you're getting stuck. So I can tell you it's much harder for me because I have a sticking point in this other hip, the one that's not replaced. Just the way it is. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Okay, so now I'm going to move into, I'm going to put you in a chair. I could put you on the side of a bed. I could put you in the floor. If you have a very stiff back, you're not inclined to get in the floor. So a lot of times I will just lay somebody down on a bench. That's very helpful if you have a bench. Even if you can just lay down in your bed. But we're going to do one of the most important things in opening up your arms, opening up your chest, and then activating your hamstrings and your gluteals. Okay, do you see what I just did? So I'm sitting here on my chair. You could be sitting on your bed, and I turned my fingers back, okay? And I'm going to push into my palms. See, just like that, pushing into my palms. I got a wide stance with my legs. I'm going to drop my shoulders. I'm going to push into the palms, and I'm going to lift my hips. So I'm opening through those arms, the chest, keep my chin tucked. I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to come back down, and I'm going to come back down. And I'm just going to do this one with my fingers back just to get my forearms, my shoulders, everything opening up. Okay, so my hands are turned away from my body. Drop my shoulders, press into the palm of the hand. Lift, squeeze the gluteal right there. Squeeze the gluteal. Keep your chin tucked. Big breath. Big breath. Big breath through the nose. And then you come down and you come down and you come down. Yay. That's half of it. Now I'm going to come into here. Put my hands on the chair. If you were in the bed, you just put your hands here, or a bench. Put your hands here. Then I'm going to lift one leg. And I'm going to lift the hip. Then I'm going to reach. And I'm going to reach. And I'm going to reach. Take a breath and come down. So we're just moving in ways that's going to get our muscles firing, but we're sidestepping that stiff back issue, okay? So drop your shoulders, number one. Big breath, number two, through the nose. I'm going to press into the hands. I'm going to lift, and I'm going to bring the other leg up, and I'm going to squeeze, push, squeeze, push. Take a big deep breath. Yeah, say ribcage up. Press and press and bring it back and bring it back. Turn those hands, grab them right here. See that? See that? Say ribcage up. Pull yourself. Look behind your chair. Take a big deep breath. Go to the other side. I'm going to pull and pull. Look all the way over my shoulder. Really pull. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath, big deep breath, big deep breath, then come back down. And now, coming into the end, I'm going to rotate through my hips. Very important. And again, you could do this lying down on the floor, on your bed, on a bench. Just rotate and drop that knee. Okay? Rotate. So you want to go where your knees are going the same direction. See that? Very important. But when you do this on a chair, don't lean in. Say rib cage up. Take a big deep breath. Now really turn. Keep that knee down. Open back just a little bit until you feel the stretch right here. You got it? Then we'll come back around, back around, back around, back around. Drop that knee and pull and lean back. Lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back. Take a big deep breath and then come back. Yay. Okay, final move. I'm going to come up. I'm going to look at my chair. I'm going to put my hand on the chair, bend my knees, bring my elbow right here next to me. Okay, rotate and open through that chest. The reason I'm doing it one at a time and I'm having you hold down here, again, is because I'm hypothetically saying you have a hiccup in your back. It's stiff, or you don't want it to like go out on you. And so one of the ways that you want to address that kind of a problem without pushing it over the edge, you want to open through here. It's works very well if you do it one arm at a time. Take a big deep breath. So when you're in the center, now I'm going to rotate and I'm going to go into a C spine. I'm going to lift my shoulders to my ears. Then I'm going to drop them down. Then I'm going to do it again. Squeeze, tuck the tail. Put your shoulders to your ears. Really open up that upper back. Then come back down and push your butt back. Don't do it too hard. Just do it a little. Way up there and back down. Now we go to the other side and we open that arm by pulling the elbow back first. Then you open. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. And you come back down and you come up. Take a big breath through the nose again. Yes. So the last thing to remember is a cross crawl. You see what I just did? Now, if you were standing and you did a cross crawl, a lot of people will demonstrate it where your leg comes up and you're trying to do this. Okay, if you have gotten up and you have a stiff back, the last thing I want you to do is act like you're going to bend forward, okay, in that way. I'm just going to cross over here and I'm going to act like I'm going to bring my elbow to my leg. See that? So if any of you had a back act up on you, then you know that I'm not overstating some of these issues. Because if you get up and you have a stiff back and it's almost like, feels like it's going to go out, you want to be very careful with your movements, but you have to move is the point. So a cross crawl, I don't even have the time to go into the benefits of doing a cross crawl. I could be laying down doing this, but what people tend to do when they think they have to bring their elbow into their knee, and if I was to bring my knee up, and I know that you're trained so that you don't round your back, that would be one thing. Generally, even people that are trained, if you're not thinking about it and you go and you think, oh, I have to put my knee on my elbow. Okay, so even in lifting a little bit, if you're not careful, you'll round the lower back. I don't want you to do that, but I want you to get the benefit of crossing midline. See this? And then go back into your feet. And then if you want to bring the knee up a little bit, if you don't round your back, great. But if you have a tendency to round your back, then don't even bring that leg up, okay? That's when I would have you laying down. Okay, so I hope this helps. I pretended that you had a little stiff back this morning, and I mitigated a lot of moves because of that. So the cross crawl is one of them. So I hope that this helped. That's what I'm hoping.